welcome to another episode of On Deck. I'm Casey Honigbaum with Big 12 Studios, and I'm joined today by one of the members of the surging Kansas Jayhawks. It's Jackson Hauge. Jackson, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, let's start with the season you guys are currently having. I don't think it's a stretch to say it's one of the better seasons the program has had in a while. A lot of national top 25 rankings have you guys in there this week, which is really exciting. And I know back in March when you guys were first ranked in the top 25, it was the first time since 2014. So a lot of awesome stuff for the program, but a lot there to just ask, what has been working for you guys so far this year?
I think we have a really good culture. I think we have a group of 40 guys that enjoy being around each other every day and competing with each other. We like to take it day to day, moment to moment, pitch to pitch, and I think that only works for you when you keep your mind in the present.
Yeah, I love that. I want to ask too about specifically the home crowds at the Hog. I think that's been one of the things that's been cool to see. And I got to imagine as a player, it means a lot to you guys to see that support. What has that, selling out the Hog? I know that's happened a lot this year. What has it meant to you guys to see the home fans behind you guys?
Oh, it's great. I mean, anytime you get to play in front of anybody, it's special. And to know that, they're all selling out to come watch you play, it's extremely special, and it's super cool. They bring the juice. They're a great crowd. I have friends that come and play us, and they all talk about how that's, like I had a friend on Omaha, and they went and played LSU, and then they came and played us, and he was like, that crowd was unbelievable. It didn't even compare. And I'm not saying that. I mean, LSU has crazy crowds, and they are phenomenal. But it was a cool compliment to receive, and speaks to how our fans are showing up.
That's high praise. I mean, Baton Rouge is like known for their rowdiness.
Absolutely.
So that's high praise. Yeah, I want to talk about the season you're having specifically. Earlier in the year, you were Big 12 Player of the Week. You were National Hitter of the Week. Batting average right around 330. You're leading the Big 12 in homers. You just hit another one at the time we record this. You just hit another one last night. What has been working for you so far at the plate this year?
I'm really trying to keep it simple. Again, kind of just stated the team mantra of taking it day by day and controlling what I can control. Not get too caught up in the moment. This isn't my first rodeo. I've been playing college baseball or been in college baseball in a while. Yeah. I obviously had to take last spring off. I played the 2 years before that, but due to injury the year prior and COVID the year before that, I really only have 2 years of college baseball, even though I've been, technically involved in college for 6 years, which is kind of wild. So
yeah. And I mean, that was one of the questions I wanted to ask because, as someone who has been in college baseball, like you said, for as long as you have, coming to Kansas now, what was it that made you want to come to the Big 12 and come to a program like Kansas?
Oh, man. All the indicators of success were here when I was getting recruited. And I could see the culture getting established. Sometimes when you go to a school, they like to tell you something, and you can tell the moment you hear it that, that's not going to get held up. And with these guys, it felt like what they said they meant, and they really believed in who I was as a player, and who they were as coaches and what their program stood for. Fitz has had success at every level. Yeah. He won a national championship at DMAC, and then goes to DBU, and DBU has had so much success there, and then goes to LSU, and he's the recruiting coordinator, and then takes the head coach job here. So it just kind of felt like, he was a Minnesota guy too.
That's
and I knew Evan Shaw was my sophomore year roommate at Mankato. John Nett, I had played the 2 summers prior with in the Northwoods League, and Ethan Anthier was at St. Cloud State playing against me the year prior. So it was kind of a perfect storm. of like, I don't know how this is going to work out, but all the indicators are there to say that we're going to have some success. So.
I love that. Well, can you give me an example? Because I think I hear a lot of that, and that's awesome to hear. But I wonder what was something that you heard? What was one of those examples, one of those indicators of success that you heard that has so far stayed true to this year, and kind of allowed you guys to have some of the success that you're having?
Yeah, Fitz always talks about humility, and I don't think that's a thing. I think that's a value that a lot of programs lose in today's day and age, where baseball is probably more flamboyant than it's ever been in terms of the bat flips, and you got all the gear everybody can wear. And I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm just saying Fitz has preached that, and then he holds his players accountable to putting the team before themselves and celebrating the moment when it happens, absolutely, but not not taking the moment and becoming arrogant with it. So I think that was the number one thing for me was humility, and then also he's a huge man of faith, and that's something I hold, dear to my heart. So
coming from Northern Sun school to now a Power 5 Big 12 school, was there any sort of adjustment period for you, and what has that been like? And did it take you a little bit to get going? And I guess, was there a moment when you kind of felt comfortable, I guess, so to speak?
Yeah, I think having the fall was really good.
Yeah.
I've played a lot of baseball, and I've played in the Northern Sun. I've also played in the Northwoods League with a lot of Big 12 competition and Big 10 competition and SEC guys, along with, the best D3, D2. And it's a unique league in the fact that you get a huge mix, you get a really unique travel experience, and it's a grind. So I thought that prepared me a lot because I played in there the last 3 summers. And then this fall helped me just get used to Big 12 competition, just playing each other every day. And this fall was hard, and it was a challenge. And I think it really clicked for me after we got back from winter break, and it was like, it's go time. So just all the resources here, having access to everything from a sports psychologist to our athletic training staff, our personal trainer. Like, we have an individualized personal trainer for baseball. That's a huge deal. He doesn't have to work with 8 different sports. He works with 2 or 3, So just the little things, I'd say, really help take the game to the next level.
I love that. I'm a former D3 guy myself, so I know what having one trainer work with 8 different teams, it makes a lot of sense.
You don't have to pay $500. The parents don't have to pay $500 to feed you on a doubleheader. You just show up and there's smoothies dug out. You're like, what? They got food for you after the game. It's pretty cool.
And you get the gear, right, too? You don't have to shell out any. Got a nice amount
for extra T-shirts. I like to say, like, some guys are like, yeah, my old school, like, we got a bag and we got a glove and we got cleats, but like, we didn't get all these shirts. I'm like, yeah, I got a pair of shorts and a T-shirt. I have to give back the shorts at the end of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lift shirt and a pair of lift shorts, and then we'd throw them on a laundry loop and try and have them every day. So I love that. Well, one of the things I wanted to ask you about is a couple of your teammates, if you could shout some of them out. I know, like, obviously we talked about, the success that you've been having at the plate this year. Brady Ballinger has been, unbelievable as well. What is it like playing in a lineup that's been so deep so far? Obviously the pitching staff has had success as well, but can you shout out some of your other guys and the success that they've had?
Yeah, I think 1 through 9 were just dangerous. Like, you saw it in the UCF series. We had 7 different guys hit home runs.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. Obviously you got names that are more known, like me, Ballinger. I'd say Michael Brooks has been around for a long time. Derek Serta didn't play a lot at the beginning of the year. Because he had to stay off the field for a little bit, and then he comes back and he's just been dynamite in center field, just a game changer. Tommy Barth played center, and then now he plays left, and just a super consistent presence. Brady Council.
I was gonna say, Council's been great. Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. Like Council's batted in 37 guys, I think 37 or 39, something like that. Yeah. And like there's a lot of mouths to feed, and to be the third, like the guy with the third most RBIs, and you have 37 and 34 games. That's pretty crazy. So Sawyer Smith, but like the guys like Chase Diggins and Ian Francis behind the dish are just have been huge. I can't talk enough about like our offense as a whole, and that like even when you get into the bench guys, you know, anybody we stand up to the plate, like we're confident in. So
I love that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, talk to me. I've got two more questions for you, and then I'll let you go.
Yeah.
One of them I want to ask too, because the success that you've had early in the year obviously means a lot to you guys, like you've said. But how do you keep that going? What's the key to making sure that, you know, this wasn't just a hot start to the year, and that this is something you can finish out strong with?
Yeah, I think not getting too caught up in the stuff outside of the field, and keeping it day to day, moment to moment, because that's what's got us really good and got here in the first place, is just taking care of what the day asks, and not trying to look into the future, because the moment you do that, you piss all over today. So, I think that's huge. I think, you know, we're not satisfied with the level of baseball we're currently playing, and we're playing really good baseball. So it's important to play your best at the end of the year, and I think we're headed for that. So again, we don't get there without taking care of what the day asks, and we're just trying to stick to us and stick to what we do really good.
Yeah, I love that. Well, my last question I had to ask, because I was reading up on you a little bit, and something fun. Obviously, you're a Minnesota guy. You grew up in Minnesota. Lots of snow in Minnesota. Is it true that you did 4 years of cross-country skiing in high school?
Oh, yeah.
Is that okay? All right. Can you tell us a little bit about what that entails?
Yeah, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'm probably the best baseball player, cross-country skier duo in Minnesota.
Okay. Wow. All right.
3 years. Maybe my senior year, but no, it was fun. I think it gave me a lot of perspective on sports in general, and just like what it looks like to be in an individual sport versus a team sport. And even though skiing's an individual sport, it's still a team sport. So it really widened my horizons on you know, the social levels of sports, and skiing is probably the most physically demanding thing I've ever had to do. You know, you go out there, some races in -10 wind chills, and you got to go ski a 5K.
So forget about it.
Yeah,
nuts.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So was that what made you pick baseball? Was it like, okay?
No,
I love skiing.
I was a baseball player well before I was a skier. I skied because, so my family, I want to get this right, but my family like originates from Norway.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And my grandpa always skied, and then my mom and her brother, my uncle, skied, and then my brother picked it up. He was the guy that got into it in the winter, because he would golf and ski, and then he was the ski captain his senior year. And my parents were like, "Yeah, you kind of have to do this." You know, it wasn't like my first choice, but I didn't have anything else to do in the winter. I was terrible at basketball. I went to a wrestling school, and I wasn't a good wrestler. So it was a really good option for me to stay active in the winter and give me a break from baseball.
I love that. Well, that's awesome. Yeah. Jackson, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed talking with you. And we hope you guys enjoyed out there listening to this interview with the #1 baseball and cross-country skier from the state of Minnesota that we just found that out. So
yeah,
thank you.
Maybe from 2019.
I don't
know. Hopefully that's been passed up. So.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, if you guys enjoyed this, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms at Big 12 Studios, and you can also watch the full interview here on the Big 12 Conference's YouTube page. Jackson, this was awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Appreciate it.